World War I, March 1918. After receiving nearly 5 million casualties, Russia signed the Treaty of Brest-Litovsk with Germany. This freed 2 million veteran soldiers for the fight in the Western Front. Highly motivated and trying to prevent the buildup of newly involved American troops, the German war machine swung west towards Paris. Nearing military collapse, the tattered French and British forces augmented American forces. The American 5th and 6th Marines met the Germans head-on at the Battle of Belleau Wood. The Marines fought so doggedly the Germans allegedly took to calling them Teufelhunden, or Devil Dog. Considering the origins of the Canis Panther, the creator's military family members, and its zeal for protecting its family, it's probably not a coincidence that the first name for the Canis Panther was Devil Dog.
Well, when I was a kid, he told me he was going to make his own dog, and he did. An architect.
Oh, an architect. Okay.
Yeah, he can draw, Right, he draws sketches and everything. Yeah, he done that.
Did he build any public works in Chicago or anything?
Yeah, he helped build good old grammar school.
Okay.
Yeah. My brother was like a god, Chris.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not Chris. I was gonna say.
My brother was like God, though,
Yeah.
And he used to always tell me. He said, "Man, I'm trying to show you something." First name he came out with was Double Dog, and they went patent that, so that's when he came with Canis Panther.
Do you know who told Scorpio to change the name from Devil Dog?
I don't know that. I was 14 years old.
Why did he choose that name?
And I can't, tell you why he named them Canis Panthers or nothing like that, but that's what he named them because they was first called Devil Dogs. If you look at Diablo can go for a Devil Dog. See what I'm saying? And you got to think about Taylor. He's just 2.
And you said he's 180 pounds, right?
He's 175 pounds.
175. And is that you in the picture?
That's me.
How tall are you?
I'm 6'2".
You're 6'2", so he's like 3 foot tall.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. 9 legs, yeah.
Now, did he come up with the name Canis Panther, or did Gypsy do that?
My brother came up with the name Canis Panther. Well, maybe, don't get me wrong, Taylor, or maybe they done it together, okay?
Okay.
Gypsy and Score, I'm 54. My brother Score was still been living, he'd have been 70. So, Gypsy probably almost 70, if not 70. And they was good friends back then, and, a lot of things Gypsy taught me himself, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, as far as about the name, I don't, you know what I'm saying? I know my brother told me he came up with the name Canis Panther. So, if he did, it is what it is.
Did he tell you why he chose the name Devil Dog?
He said the people wouldn't patent it. He said they said that was like a vicious, you know what I'm saying, a vicious name for a dog.
And I told him, man, ain't no church lady gonna buy a dog named Devil Dog. So he said, well, then you name him then. What's the name, dog? I said, after some research and thinking, I said, Canis Panther. Canis is the phylum name for any canine, wolf and coyote. It's the phylum name. It's the highest scientific name category.
Right.
Canis, and the look of the dog, and the movement of the dog, the size of the dog, reminded me of a panther. I named this breed. Me. Not Scorp, not Lucas, not Tim, not JD. And I'll tell you where the term Devil Dog came from. Earl Jones, the person who taught me to train dogs, at one point was trying to create a dog, and he had already picked a name for it, and it was the Devil Dog. And one day in a discussion, or several days in several discussions, my father, who read Earl Jones's dope, Tobar the Great, and helped to train him, knew this. And so we had discussions all the time. And so that's where that name came from. It didn't come out of Scorp's head.
Was it a
Earl
military
Jones,
reference?
My father said Devil Dog out of his mouth.
Okay.
Telling us about Earl Jones trying to create another dog. Scorp didn't come up with that out of his own head. And they were mean, so it's one way you could go that way, but I objected.
Right.
And Lucas believed what I said. Lucas agreed. And this dog was created for the church lady. It wasn't created for the dope dealer. It was created for the church lady.
Mm-hmm.
The greatest test of that was Scorp's mother. They had a dog named G-Money. Lucas called it Jiminy.
Jiminy.
Uh-huh. Lucas was a square. He wasn't that hip. So G-Money was not something he wanted to say. So he called him Jiminy. Like I just told you, even as far as naming the dog, we argued about it. And he respected me enough, my intelligence, my ability, my forethought, my vision, enough to say, well, then you name him. Because I came to him with a logical argument of why we cannot name these dogs Devil Dog. And he accepted it because he was a very wise man. One of the greatest men I've ever known. Ever. And if you're going to pick a different name, how about let's use some science, and it cannot be assailed. Some scientific weight to the breed.
Right.
Therefore, Canis Panther. Not Panther Dog, Canis Panther.
I've noticed some people like to use the word Panther Dog. Where did that come from?
I have no idea. That's laziness. And maybe another attempt to erase history, to erase me, since I'm the one who named the breed.
So, what caused you three gentlemen to conspire to create a dog breed?
Because at the time, we wanted to import dogs. First, we tried buying dogs. Rottweilers was basically the dog that we had our eye on. And when we went to try to get the best Rottweilers we could, usually they were in the hands of white people. And when they realized that we were, first off, when we pull up, we're black men. We're young black men. And some people have aversion to giving anything valuable to young black men. Are you aware of that in America?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that's feasible, is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
We can pretty much say, oh, that sounds kind of like could be true. And so then Scorp said, well, Scorp had a big family, and there were people that were overseas, military people. And so we tried to import dogs and found out there was a lot of cost involved. And so the discussion came about, well, then let's make a dog. And that's where, in talking to my father, the name Devil Dog came up.
So, if some people were not selling dogs to you, and if it was difficult to get dogs from other places, how did you guys get the initial stock to start the Canis Panther?
I got stock from Scorp. I got stock from Lucas Lopez, originally.
Where did they get theirs from?
They made them. Scorp and Lucas were the breeders.
Right, but they had to get their dogs that they made from somewhere, right?
You're talking about the original component?
Yes.
There were several different sources. Dog had to be evaluated. Those people's names? No, I don't remember those people's names.
But you were able to find people willing to sell to you gentlemen at some point,
Yes,
at least
in order
sometimes.
to create the dog, yeah, they had to be blended. It wasn't one just in somebody's yard. Cat that was already a Canis Panther. They had to be created. Some were good, some were bad. The bad ones we eliminated, or let somebody else have them. Lucas didn't let anybody have anything
Why is that?
because he was very loyal to Scorp.
He made it so that Scorpio had the final say on what dogs went where.
I made it so Scorp was a real dude, man. You're not going to do anything with his shit that he didn't okay.
Right.
No way. I don't care who you are. Scorp wasn't nobody to play with.
Okay.
You're not going to take something from him. You're not going to misrepresent him
Right.
and be healthy.
Mm-hmm. Do you ever line breed like cousins to cousins and stuff like that?
Canis Panther is a line-bred dog. There's no doubt about that. It's a rare breed.
Did you ever intend for the Canis Panther to be used as a hunting dog in any way?
Not at all. Not a hunting dog, not a fighting dog, a family pet that protects fiercely.
And that's it. That's the only purpose.
That's the only purpose. That was Scorp's purpose. That was Luke's purpose. It's been my purpose.
How do you feel about people using the dog for different things like weight pulling or if they did search and rescue or something like that?
This is America, man. People could do what they want to do.
Okay.
I don't do it.
Would you be proud if one of your Canis Panthers was doing search and rescue or something like that?
Probably.
Okay.
But would I be proud if I found out they had gone to South Carolina and beat up all the pit bulls in South Carolina? No.
Okay.
Would I be proud if they had gone to Arkansas and in the hands of pig hunters and they were the top pig killer in the country? No. Would I be proud if they were police canines and all that? Probably not.
Okay.
What I am proud of is when they go to a home, they love who they live with, and they despise everyone else.
And so the environment of Chicago really shaped what the Canis Panther was supposed to be.
Yes.
Some people say that you should just get a gun instead of a dog.
Well, a gun can't wake you up.
That's true.
A gun cannot aim itself. And a gun cannot fly to your hand when you call its name.
Right. I know something that can, though.
What?
A Canis Panther.
That's right. Well, it wasn't just one dog
Right.
that created all these dogs. This is a blend. And it doesn't happen overnight.
So what dogs were bred together to create the first litter of Canis Panthers?
That's a trade secret that I'm not... I have the paperwork in the house. Lori has all that.
Okay.
Straight from Scorp's hand. But that's very valuable, and you don't just cast your pearl among swine.
Right.
Not that you're a swine. You did approach me in that manner, and you came from a cabal of swine. So why would I feed my enemies?
You shouldn't.
Why would I do that?
You shouldn't.
Why? Well, then why would you expect me to?
I don't expect you
Am
to.
I that stupid? Am I that
No.
gullible? Am
No,
I that
sir.
starving for attention?
I'm...
I'd go, oh, no, let me tell you everything.
Like I said, the first two dogs that he had was Missy and Mighty Joe. Them was the first two Panthers that were created. Misty and Mighty Joe.
What breeds?
Their parents,
What breeds were their parents?
their parents was, Gorilla was a Great Dane mixed with Lab, and Sugar was a big bitch dog.
Okay, and then Missy and Who was the other dog?
Missy and Joe came from that.
They were siblings?
Missy and Joe were sisters and brothers.
Okay. And then from there, are all Canis Panthers just from this brother-sibling breeding, or were more things brought in down the line as they built it?
More things was brought down the line as they built it.
Okay.
The first litter of Canis Panthers, did you don't have to tell me, what the breeds were, but did you do a similar thing to create a separate litter and then start them together, or did you have that first litter and breed stuff in piece by piece as you went?
Several litters. Several.
Okay.
Yeah, several. And Lucas Lopez held most of them down until a selection was made, then they were brought to Score's house, or vice versa. Again, Lucas Lopez was like a vault. No one could get in or out past Lucas.
So he was actually a really key player.
He was oh God, yes, in every document that there has been about the Canis Panther, Lucas Lopez comes right after Scorpio. I've never put my name first.
And then my mama, he gave my mom's a dog. My mama had a panther named Zulu.
Okay.
See, Pablo is small compared to Zulu. Okay?
How big was Zulu?
Zulu was probably about 205 pounds.
Damn. So was he really heavy on the Dane?
Huh?
Was he really heavy on the Dane?
Yeah, he had a lot of Dane in him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we let Zulu make with this guy named Pookie. Pookie had a dog named I know Zulu made Deuce. Deuce was Zulu's son. That's when my brother shortened the Panthers down. Okay, he took the Panthers and made them shorter, like Tupac. Tupac was a shorter breed than Diablo. Tupac was more muscle. You know, he looked like a giant pit.
Okay.
You know, and he shortened the breed.
Why was each breed used?
Well, I mean, that I can't explain. That was my brother's idea, and I think he done an amazing thing. Why he done it, I don't know.
Well, I've trained a lot of Great Danes. They can be real hot. That's why they're part of the blend of the Canis Panther.
No. He said he was making the dogs smaller because people were saying there was too much dog to be in their house.
Mm-hmm.
He gave Gypsy all the big tall ones, and that's when he came with all the short ones. It was Tupac, Brother Love, Gator, all them with short muscle, you know what I'm saying? All these dogs looked like giant pits.
Right.
You wouldn't see no Dame or nothing in there like Diablo, okay?
Now, when I interviewed Gypsy, we had a few hiccups, but talking with him was quite enlightening. I just regret that Gypsy couldn't see the documentary and that I wasn't able to ask him why the German Shepherd wasn't used in the breed. Since him and Scorpio both had German Shepherds, it would make sense that they would use it, but they specifically chose not to. And Tim says that he doesn't know because Scorpio was so secretive, so I guess we'll never know why.
Scorp took Gorilla, which was a Great Dane mixed with Labrador, and he bred it with a big Doberman pigeon named Sugar. And the first two condoms was named Mighty Joe and Missy.
We have found Labrador in the breed.
Okay.
First question, was that intentional or by design?
Everything about the dog is by design.
Okay.
It's not I tell people all the time, this is not a mixed breed. It's a blended breed dog. You can't blend all these dogs at one time. It takes time.
Mm-hmm.
It takes effort.
Now
You have to see if a dog is suitable to blend. And then after that blend, you have to see, was that blend successful or not?
right.
Yeah.
Now
Now, Scorp didn't just kill dogs if they didn't meet mine or Luke's standards, because they were still good enough dogs for people, and people wanted them. So there are people who have had, there are a lot of people who have had Canis Panthers, man. And when did they get them? At what point in the blend did they get them? Did they get them before they were registered or after? Did the people who you know find someone with a Canis Panther or derivative after so many generations, and they still call it the Canis Panther?
there's
And
only
they they got one from them. I don't know. Maybe he ain't never worked the lab. The lab can go to the bone to fight.
Yeah.
Shit, the lab is one of the greatest working dogs on the planet. And they ain't about a soft fight.
Have you ever been bit by a lab?
I've been bit over 100 times, and I've trained all kind of dogs.
Okay.
I know what a lab can do.
So if you're breeding out the lab, you underestimate the lab and you fundamentally don't understand what a protection lab means.
Luna. Good girl.
Shit, the lab is one of the greatest working dogs on the planet.
What advice would you give people getting involved in the Canis Panther or thinking about breeding Canis Panthers?
Well, I would have a question. Why do you want to breed them? That would be my first question. Why do you want to breed a Canis Panther?
That is also my first question when people tell me that they want a breeding contract with one of my dogs.
Yeah, why? I thought you came here to get a dog to keep motherfuckers out of your house and out of your face.
Right.
So now you've accomplished that. So now, what's your motivation for wanting to breed them? That's the question I would ask. And the answers are myriad. There are myriad of answers, so I won't enumerate them all here.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the question I would ask. Why? Why do you want to breed them?
Do you think it's possible for people in the future to improve upon the Canis Panther, or do you think that
Depends on the person.
Okay.
Depends on the person and what their motivation is, and then what they do to accomplish that goal. Better is a relative term.
Yes,
Better
absolutely.
Meaning, that's right. Better meaning what? Because JD wanted to make them better for sport, or at least that's what he said.
That's what he told you? Like that was his intention?
Yeah. And his group. See, again, I'm going to tell you, there are people in that group who call me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't just make it up.
How did
I don't
it...
call nobody to say, well, what did he say this week?
Right.
There are people around him in his orbit report to me.
How did it make you feel when he said that he wanted to breed them for sport instead of protection?
It made me feel two ways. Because I knew if he wanted to breed them for sport, he was going to have to downsize them.
Mm-hmm.
So that made me sad. And then it made me kind of like, okay. Because it made me know then that he's no challenge to me.
Right.
Because they wasn't made for sport. They were made for family, pet, protector. Size has a lot to do with that. It's part of the psychological warfare. Bad guys feel more comfortable with a small dog.
Yes, they
They can
do.
overpower it. They may not be harmed as much. You know, human beings have a genetic component that is averse to being eaten. Did you know that?
I saw this
The
guy.
size of Canis Panther gives you it triggers that genetic component in your brain that says, I don't want to be eaten. And so they go down the block to somebody that's got a little dog or no dog. And that's before any fight ever occurs. And that's why I call it psychological warfare. So if he wanted to downsize him, I think it's because when he tried to breed him, he didn't get the size back. And I think that's probably because he wasn't breeding Canis Panthers. Oh, no, you mean to tell me, Jake, he would be so unscrupulous to breed something else to the Canis Panther, and once he found out it wasn't what he originally could have, what he fell in love with, he created a whole new reason for having them.
Do you think that he bred a Canis Panther to something different to begin with?
I don't know, but I know he didn't have access to a lot of Canis Panthers.
Would you get a dog from him if you thought that it was a solid dog?
I have to see it and talk to him, but I tell you this, I never have.
Would you be open to talking to him?
I've talked to Tim. Tim called me not too long ago. I don't hear he doesn't say, hey, Gypsy, this is Tim, and I hang up. Or say, you fucker, what do I want to talk to you for? Never done that. Never done that. That's not how I operate.
You and him had a conversation. How did it go?
We've had several conversations. I've known Tim since he was a kid.
Is he trying to get dogs from you or give you dogs, or is he just catching up, or what?
Well, no. I don't know if he's trying to get dogs from me or not.
Would you sell him one?
Would I?
Yeah.
Probably yes. Why not? Not. Why wouldn't I?
I don't know. I
would sell JP one. As bad as I think he is, I would sell him one. See, I could create the Canis Panther again if God forbid there was a plague and all of them died. I have the formula. I know how many this and how many of that. I know what to do, when to do. I could recreate them if I wanted to, if I needed to. The only person that I would say has any legitimacy is Tim, because he's Scorp's brother.
Right. He grew up with him. He was there. He at least saw it.
He saw some of it. Tim had other interests. Tim wasn't a dog man. He didn't become a dog man until Scorp died. I told you yesterday at Scorp's funeral, Tim said, I am the new Scorpio.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where his dog career or story began. Other than that, he was a spectator.
I never changed. I have practiced all through the fit from now and 54 since I was 14, so that's 40 years.
Dogs take work. Tim was not a worker. Or ask the question, how come Gypsy, the last remaining founder of this breed, how come he's not over here on this board? Who made that decision?
I think we just kind of collectively, we had talked about it, and we didn't want to include you because I think the initial reasoning was the health testing. It wasn't rumors about who you will and will not talk to. It wasn't anything. It was because you did not want to look at the genetics of your own dogs.
I'm looking at the genetics of my dogs, man. Looking at them every day. Yes, I have. The eye test. I will not breed a dog that is not healthy, that is not intelligent, that won't protect.
Mm-hmm.
Period. Won't breed them. I don't got to go to a scientific lab to determine those things because I'm a dog man and a trainer.
Right.
So first thing, they got to look the part, they got to act the part. And if they're sickly, I'm not breeding them.
No, what if there's a health issue that you may not notice until the dog's like 9 or 10 years old?
And what dog lives to 9 or 10?
I think quite a few do.
Okay then.
But I'm saying...
Mine do. So what have I got to be concerned about? If labs live this long and panthers live relatively the same amount of time, what do I need a scientist to tell me about? There's a guy from Texas. What was his name?
Chris Tucker?
That's him.
How do you feel about Chris Tucker?
What's he got to do with the Canis Panther? He was prevalent in your group.
Oh, yeah, he's big trouble, for sure.
So why and how? Because he ain't bred nothing. He ain't trained nothing. He hasn't produced anything. So how? I'll tell you how. Because he wanted to shit on my name. And JD saw that was valuable to him because that was his goal.
Right.
And so he appointed Chris Tucker over you guys. No one asked Chris Tucker, Chris, when did you breed a Canis Panther? Chris, when did you train a Canis Panther? Chris, what do you got to do with the Canis Panther? No one asked him that.
Right.
You guys all just took his word for it. And he had, what words did he have?
Yep.
He couldn't tell you that I wasn't with Scorp, that I wasn't with Lucas Lopez. He couldn't tell you that. He couldn't tell you I wasn't a great trainer. He could not tell you that. So what did he tell you that made you and others go along with this coup?
I actually never talked to Chris Tucker personally, but I have heard that he stole dogs from Tim Jones. I believe he stole dogs from you, and he's also stolen dogs from Mr. Donovan.
Donovan don't have no Canis Panthers.
Well, right, but he's stolen Donovan pinchers from Mr. Donovan.
Did you say stole, like in stealing? Absconded with?
As in there was some sort of agreement,
He never
and then...
had any of my dogs. Never.
Okay.
I never had any agreement with him, ever.
My understanding, at least for Tim Jones, was that Tim Jones gave him dogs, and he was supposed to give him dogs back eventually, and then he just started ignoring
Tim. It
Tim.
didn't happen because both of them were unscrupulous.
Right.
And both of them weren't standing on anything but rhetoric. See, I don't stand on rhetoric. I stand on work. And because of my work, you were able to get the greatest dog you ever had. Because of my work, JD saw a financial benefit. Because that's our first conversation. And the young man that's with Abby, I forget his name, came with JD. And no one ever asked him. He heard the conversation of JD wanting to be the middleman. Let me be the one who is the broker, Gypsy. You just breed them, and let me be the one who is the a middleman. And I didn't need a middleman. I told JD, well, JD, we could see about that. But he decided he didn't want to be the middleman. He wanted to be the man. So to be the man, he had to eliminate me. And he asked Chris Tucker to help him do that. Chris Tucker hasn't produced anything. He hasn't trained anything. He hasn't bred anything.
I gave Chris Tucker a hell of an offer, man. I sent him dogs down there, and he sent me a few things, cages and things like that. You know, he really helped me out. Christmas toys for the kids when I wasn't able to get them, you know. That's why I'm not angry at Chris, because Chris is a good guy too, but he just didn't hold his hand on the bottom. You know what I'm saying? He stopped answering the phone for me. He stopped communicating with me. I heard he had puppies and things like that. And he promised me he was going to send me something back, but he didn't. And like I said, I'm not angry at him. I just can't deal with him, you know?
Do any of your Canis Panthers ever have, like, same-sex aggression or a little bit of dog aggression?
They have aggression with whoever don't live here. It could be Santa Claus. It could be Mother Teresa. It could be a bear. It could be a rattlesnake. If it don't live here, it's going to have a problem with my dog. They just have a reservoir of venom for your ass. If they have if you have challenged them or tried to hurt them or their family, then they will mark you. They will not forget it.